Hey, friends from Disruptarian Radio and our other media outlets. I just wanted to appreciate the things that we, often take for granted. Things that I often take for granted is island life, appreciating the wonderful blessings I get in life, and what I appreciate about the culture I live in. I live in mostly island areas, and I really appreciate the ancient Tahitian and Polynesian culture for their navigation, contributions and experience, and just the culture of navigation and exploration. I wanted to talk a little bit about that, so thanks for taking the time with me. Hi, this is Ryan from Disruptarian.com. Now, I wanted to talk about the things that I appreciate about island culture, Hawaiian culture, Polynesians, Caribbean culture. We've spent a lot of time in a lot of islands over the last 6 years. Even longer, because we've spent time, in the Puget Sound, and we had a sailboat here as well, or we had a power boat. It's a little cigar boat they used for Prohibition days, a 1929 custom-built cigar boat, basically. Beautiful boat, but yeah, she was a Prohibition boat, and we sold her one of our babies. I think it was when Jenny was born. Yeah, so our last boat was this. And this is the Carolina, and she was in Fajardo during Hurricane Maria and Hurricane Irma. She got damaged a little bit in Irma, but she got wrecked in Maria and sunk, so she's at the bottom of the sea, as far as I know. Unless somebody resurrected her, the last I saw her, she was buried. But we did a lot of sailing in the Caribbean with her. We were on the east coast of Puerto Rico when she got sunk by Hurricane Maria. Last I seen her, she was taking on water, and we were escaping for our lives. Our home got destroyed, everything else. Like, that's where we were before our big international adventure in Europe and whatnot. We were in St. Thomas at first, and then we ended up in Puerto Rico for a year, and we went to Culebra and a lot of other places in the area, so we did a lot of sailing. And the point is, a lot like the Polynesian voyagers, the navigators from Polynesia, from Hawaii, we had very rustic systems. Like, this did not have any advanced gadgetry at all. No GPS, this was basically, sight and star navigation for what it was worth. Like, and just our sense of direction. Like, you just kind of have a feeling. You kind of, feel where you're going.
Well, here we are, first day, Captain Ryan.
It's election day and we don't give an F. We out sailing. Caribbean, baby. Forget America.
And I heard Kalepa Babayan talk about this, that feeling, like, you just know, like, if that's the direction that you feel, then that's the direction that you go. You kind of know, you're instinctually tuned in, with that direction, however the cosmos, the world, the body, the mind works, magnetic pole, whatever it is, you just know, you just kind of have a feeling. I really can't explain it. Anyway, so I respect these voyagers that use rustic systems to voyage and did so much, like way more sailing than I did. I barely scratched, like what, 3 seas, and not very much of them at that. I didn't do a whole lot of exploring. I've been to San Juan's, I've been all over, the USVI, Puerto Rico, Culebra, things like that, but there's such an expansive amount out there. I've never been sailing in Europe, Africa, Asia, anywhere else. I guess not sailing per se, but the point is that I have deep respect for people who dream and pursue their dreams and fulfill their dreams. And the ancient Polynesian explorers, and going all the way back to like the first century BC. 2,100 years ago or whatever. I mean, that's the same kind of people that I am. I love that kind of thing. Like, here's one of St. Thomas when I first got there. And this is Emperor Haile Selassie of Ethiopia. Until the color of a man's skin is of no more significance than the color of his eyes, until the basic human rights is equally guaranteed to all without regards to race. So yeah, he's, a lot of people would call him a prophet or a angel or a king of heaven or a lot of things that they attribute to him. Depends on who you're speaking to, and if they're Rasta, that's a major difference. Like, people in Ethiopia may not have even the same feelings, the same high regard for Haile Selassie as people possibly in the West Indies. But he was amazing. Like, his struggles. I have a lot in common with him. I think that I would very much enjoy listening to him speak in person. He's dead. He was killed in a regime change in the 70s, but interesting. Anyway, that was something I got in tune with a lot. A lot of the Rastas, a lot of the culture there. I mean, I've always loved reggae music, but really tuned into that. I really loved it. This was the Carolina when she was taken out once. She was hauled out and painted and whatnot. Yeah, I miss her. And I really absolutely adore, just the hospitable nature. It really feels like Asian culture a lot in Hawaii, and there's a lot of Asian culture there, but even Haoles, as they say, or local Hawaiians even, they seem to have that honor, that sense of honor, that representation of honor, that that spirit of honor and respect in their community at a greater degree than I see a lot in the mainland. And this is why I haven't even stepped foot on the mainland except for maybe an airport in the last 4 years, 5 years almost, because it is different. And like, I went to Japan last year, and they have these big festivals, over 100,000 people in Sapporo, crowding the streets, huge festivals, awesome ancient traditional Japanese culture displays. I can't remember the name of the festival, but it was last June in 2019. Anyway, all these, 100,000 plus people over the 3-day weekend crowded the streets in Sapporo. They have no public garbage cans. They had some sort of threat or problem from the Yakuza, is what I understand. And don't quote me on that. I mean, I've just got a topical understanding of their history. But for whatever reason, in Sapporo, they didn't have trash cans. They had limited trash cans in Tokyo, but nothing in Sapporo that I found. And even after 100,000 people crowd the streets and they have eating and all these, social interactions with whatever food and whatever, bought gifts they get, whatever ends up on the ground, usually in the United States, wherever you are, it didn't in Sapporo. There was no trash cleanup personnel. There was no, garbage collection. There was no garbage cans, public garbage cans. People just took their stuff and disposed of them at the, whatever convenience they could find at home, probably. They probably have a little trash bag in their car, and they just are mindful of their garbage. And I just appreciate that about elements of Hawaii, elements of Polynesia. Not all of Hawaii is that way, but a lot of it is. But here in Japan, I mean, you look at this street. Last night I was here, there was a big celebration, there was lots of parades, and it was just awesome. Lots of people. And today, as you can see, there's no garbage cans. Like, the city doesn't provide a way to throw away the garbage. People just hold on to their garbage and wait till they get back to their hotel or their house or their car or whatever, and they throw it away themselves. They don't depend on the government to provide a method, because they teach responsibility and accountability. And I love the Asian culture. I adore it. I if I could pick any place in the world to live, it would be Japan. This right here, I get distracted. This right here was a little hut that I helped with. I helped build some of the accommodations and improve this little, it's like a retirement hut. This old guy lives in it, and he pays this lady, his retirement check basically for her to take care of him. And he had a neat little hut. I wish I had pictures of the inside. That was really really cool. This is was it 20-acre farm in Hilo that I spent some time on. This is a different property. It's a place I did work away on. It was interesting, where you actually work for your room and board. That is also the house in Hilo, I believe. I spent a little bit of time helping with. That's Pahoa or Kiao. Is it Pahoa? That could be Kalapana. No, that's Pahoa. Yeah. In that area, anyway. So, I mean, I just love island culture. It's slow enough for me. It's relaxed enough for me. I know there's a lot of hurt and politics and generational issues, and you know, I just live for today. I try to make life better for me and all of my brothers and sisters of mankind better today. A rising tide lifts all ships. So that's something to be mindful of. Instead of trying to take each other out all the time, sometimes it's good just to work together and lift each other up. Right now in Hawaii, I so wish that telescope was built. That would be going right now. There'd be people working up there and generating revenue for Hawaii right now. It's just crazy.